Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCullum, and I am very excited today to announce a new book from Headstamp Publishing entitled From Hartford to Vietnam, An Illustrated History of How Colt Brought the AR-15 to War. This is a book written by Alex Young, and it is primarily an illustrated guide. It's a photographic reference of Colt's developmental work from the late 1950s through basically the early 1980s. And it's based on the photographs that Alex Young has collected from the estates of several Colt employees, and primarily one Rob Roy. Rob Roy was hired by Colt in the late 1950s, worked for them for several decades. He went from being a project manager all the way up to being the vice president of strategic planning and international business development for Colt. He was very heavily involved with everything that Colt was doing, and during his time moving up through the hierarchy at Colt, he did a heck of a lot of development work himself and international marketing work. So this collection of photos from his estate provides a really fantastic look at everything that was going on behind the scenes at Colt. So we have divided the book into 5 primary chapters based on the different types of photographs that are involved. And by the way, there are more than 500 separate original photographs, most of them having never been seen before, published in this book. The first section is the factory, and this covers everything from some of the original expansion of the Colt factory, the building of new firing ranges specifically for M16 production. It covers quality control. It's inside looks at what was going on in the factory during production. These are things that you couldn't just walk in and see. It was stuff that was, well, not open to the public, obviously, and these photograph collections give us some really interesting insights into it. The second section is on the guns. That's my favorite, not surprisingly. And this is a look at it's photographs of all sorts of interesting variations of the AR platform and the guns around it. So beyond just the basic AR-15, M16, A1, E1, this book has photographs of all sorts of far more exotic variations. Things like the Colt 607 and Colt 608, the survival rifle and the very early carbine prototypes or submachine gun prototypes, the CAR-15s, the early grenade launchers, before there was the underbarrel M203 or the standalone M79, Colt had its own grenade launcher assembly, the CGL-4. It also then adapted the XM-148, the grenade launcher that the US government ended up deploying to Vietnam for a reasonable period. All of those grenade launchers and their associated mounts are pictured in these books. We have some of the other guns that were associated with the M16 as part of Colt trying to develop a complete weapons family. We have some Colt pistols. We have the CMG 1, 2, and 3 machine guns that were intended to be the machine gun counterpart. Of course, the Army ended up with the M60 instead, but Colt would have loved to sell their CMG machine guns to any foreign military clients that were interested. We have things like the ARM pistol, the Colt Scamp, like all sorts of really interesting, bizarre systems, sniper rifle variations, all sorts of stuff. Some of it firearms that you just have virtually never seen before. Section 3 is on testing. One of the big things that Colt had to do was a variety of different sorts of testing, whether that is harsh environment testing, mud testing, dust testing, internal testing, military testing. We have photographs from a lot of these demonstrations and test procedures, and they're in the book. This is closely followed by the sales chapter, which covers, well, Colt's efforts to sell all of these weapons to anyone who is interested militarily. So this covers trade shows. There's some really cool pictures of Colt trade show booths from the 1960s and what they're displaying, and in some cases, who else is there? There are some pictures with Cadillac Gauge displays and booths alongside Colt selling, you know, some competitive products like the Stoner 63 system. As well as this also covers international sales efforts when Colt would send their demonstration team to all sorts of different countries to promote and demonstrate their different weapon systems. And so we get to see a bunch of that. And then finally, the last chapter is on field use. This is primarily in the Vietnam War, and it covers things like Colt sending its employees to Vietnam to instruct US soldiers on how to use various weapon systems. Colt employees investigating what they can do to work with the military to improve weapons platforms. Lots of really interesting, good period photography from the Vietnam War. And again, these are photographs that are taken from the collections and the estates of Colt employees like Rob Roy. So this isn't your general purpose sort of, military journalist photographer. These are the actual Colt guys photographing what they are doing in Vietnam. There is then finally an appendix section that has some documentation. There are some letters scattered throughout this book. They're interesting subject matter covering discussions between Colt and various potential clients. The appendix also has a number of rare blueprints, things like that collapsing buttstock from the 607, the Model 607s, and various other things that are just pretty cool, neat to see. So I've left a whole bunch of stuff untouched on because it's well more than 500 pictures. There's way more than I can detail everything in a video like this. In addition to the standard book, we're also offering a special slipcase option if you would like something a bit fancier. I think these also look particularly cool. The book is now available for pre-order at Headstamp Publishing's website. I have a link to that down in the description text below. We also have it available as part of a couple of bundles on our ongoing Kickstarter campaign for the Tiger Stripe book. That's Tiger Stripe, the Vietnam camouflage story, because the two are fairly reasonably connected. We figure there are people who are going to be interested in both. But if you're not interested in Tiger Stripe and the Kickstarter campaign, we do have the book available for pre-order right now on Headstamp's website. So we are expecting delivery in probably 4 to 6 months. Sort of typical, this is a pre-launch to determine how much interest there is in the book and to pay for its printing. So if you're interested, check it out, sign on up. We're excited to get the book into your hands. Frankly, I'm excited to get my own copy because there's just a ton of cool stuff in there. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. Check it out. Thanks for watching.